Shalom, shalom. This is part 2 of U.S. most degenerate cities. So on part 1, I broke down the first 3 categories, which would be anger and hatred, jealousy, excesses, and vices, which is what this website, wallethub.com, ranked the most sinful or degenerate cities in America. Part 2, we're going to go into categories 4 through 7, which you see greed, lust, vanity, and laziness. And all of these can be related to Babylon the Great, America, and the rulers of Babylon the Great, the Edomites, the so-called whites. And let's start with greed, because the beloved elder Saint Benji of GMS Chicago, a few months ago, he did a lesson on capitalism is covetousness. And we're going to get that spirit of covetousness as well. And greed and capitalism, they go hand in hand. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 14 verse 3, riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money? Pretty plain and to the point on that one. Another one, Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. And that's talking about the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. He's not going to meet thee as a man. And who's today a king? Them that are first shall be last, them that are last shall be first. Right now, the so-called whites are the kings. They're the ones in rulership at the top of the totem pole, versus the Lord's chosen people, Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're at the bottom. And that's seen in capitalism, because what Esau does is he covets the cities, he covets the fields and takes them by violence, and then he oppresses Jake. He oppresses a man in his own heritage, a man in his own house. And what he does is he capitalizes off of our labor. He capitalizes off of our bloodshed. He capitalizes off of all the resources he got from stealing and taking those fields by blood and violence. Okay? Next category, lust. And man... and that's heavy out here in Babylon the Great too. You got all these women walking around scantily clad, half-ass naked, in these damn yoga pants, in just titties out, ass out. This is America. Never mind with social media. Now that you have Instagram, OnlyFans, Twitter, all these internet porn websites which help fuel the internet boom, this shit is out of control, and it's 2023 going into 2024 is only getting worse. Okay, the more the internet goes, the more whoredom and all this degeneracy and rainbow bullshit increases as well. Proverbs 6 verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Okay, and that's harder, easier said than done when you have these women walking around with all the goodies out in front to tease you and showcase what they working right in front of you. And the scriptures say women ain't supposed to be dressed all whorish. 1 Timothy 2 verse 9, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. And the key to that was modest apparel. So these leggings, these yoga pants, these little gym shorts, and there's videos on these harlots. Dudes is just trying to go to the gym, get a workout. These women dressed in like strippers, like prostitutes on the blade, ass naked, and then want to bend over and squat right in front of you. And then if you even glance, if you look at him and you know, oh, you're a predator, you're a perv. If you ignore him, oh, he's the letter G. You know, it's you can't win in this wicked ass kingdom. And actually I think there was another one I had in this NLT that applies. Yeah. Proverbs 6 verse 25 in the NLT. Don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glances seduce you. And once again, that's easier said than done. Especially, in Babylon the Great, they got the goods out right in front of you to see. But that's a demon behind those titties. That's a demon behind them eyelashes majority of the time. Especially in these wicked, degenerate, vain-ass cities. Let's go back to the list. For those that didn't see, I looked up most degenerate cities in America. Then this popped up on Wallet Hub, the most sinful cities in America. Let's go back to the top 10. Vegas, Houston, Philly, LA, Atlanta, Denver, Dallas, Phoenix, Miami, and Cleveland. And we all know rappers that came from these cities. You see this is just 10. In all these categories we can relate to. This is the spirit of America. Okay? Now to category 6 is vain. Let's go here. Let's go back to vanity. And this is a very vain place. That definition of vain, having or showing an excessively high opinion of one's appearance, abilities, or worth. And that's the spirit of Esau. And we look up some similarities, some synonyms to the word vain: conceited, narcissistic, self-loving, self-absorbed, self-obsessed, self-centered, proud. And that's right there, pride. The Lord speaks on he hates a proud look, and he hates pride. And Esau and Eve are the two most prideful demons there is. Not all of Eve, but the overwhelming vast majority, especially in these major cities, these women are prideful as fuck. Okay, so let's go into vanity. Where is this? It's going to be in Proverbs. Oh, sorry, Salakia. Psalms, the 62nd chapter. Psalm 62, verse 10. Trust, is this? Yeah, okay. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. And that right there, that's Esau. And our people. Number one, it says, trust not, our people trust in the shadow of Egypt. Egypt is the, not only ancient Egypt, what's modern day Egypt, America. Our people trust in the ruling powers and the wicked philosophies that are help keeping us enchained and in darkness and in oppression. Our people trust in oppression. The scriptures clearly just said, don't trust in that. They think voting every 4 years, it's going to get better for our people. But ever since our people, as a majority, especially Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks, started voting all Democrat, shit done got worse and worse and worse and worse, and our people can't see the correlation. And become not vain in robbery, and that's Esau. It says, the scriptures say, he covets the fields and takes them by violence. He done took all these lands across the world and became vain. And he got what? The fatness of the earth by that, through the sword. And he got all these riches, and he sets his heart in them. He don't see his end coming from all. He don't see a recompense coming for all the stealing, rape, and robbery that he done did. But the Lord got something else coming for him. Speaking on pride, vanity and proud, that's a synonym. Being proud goes hand in hand. The Lord is about to snap the pride of these wicked ass people, especially starting with mainly Esau, the so-called whites, and Eve, the women of the Negro, Hispanic, and Native American tribes who are joined unto Esau in his wicked rulership. Isaiah 13 verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Okay, so the Lord's finna stomp all that little flame of wickedness out real soon, and we can see what's leading up to that. Another one on the pride, especially in Babylon the Great, this goes right to it. The pride of these cities in America for all their wickedness. When the economy collapses and it's martial law in these streets, this explains why. Especially speaking on America. Let's go back to that list. I closed it out. But the top 10 most degenerate cities in America. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 18. Actually, yeah, let me start. Let's start at 15. Let's start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. Here we go, verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So, in what was 19? And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So if men are going to be terrified and scared in that day, how much more you prideful, vain-ass women walking around with no type of fear? You know, y'all going to be target number 1, 2, and 3 in that day, and it ain't going to be no escape. So let's go to the last category, which is laziness. And that's another spirit. America, Babylon the Great, is the most obese country on the planet. I don't know why this thing tweaks out. And that shows you how fat and gluttonous this place is and how lazy it is. No one really got to work. Everything's shipped here. You know, everything's easy. And the scriptures speak on that. But that's, you know, just another symbol that we are in Babylon the Great America. Let's start at Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, verse 11, speaking on how these people done got fat and have grown lazy off the oppression and labor and bloodshed of the Israelites. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. And then it's talking about the destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great America. As you see in the 14th verse, put yourselves in array, Babylon, and bend the bow. Basically fire all those arrows at Babylon. What are those arrows? Ain't no bows and arrows. It's talking about nuclear missiles. Why? Because America done got super rich, super fat, all these Edomites, as well as pursuing to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, as well as, I believe, Lamentations, the 4th, Lamentations, let me see, I think it might be Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. These heathen nations are also joined unto Esau, the so-called white man, and Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. These heathen nations have joined together and become confederate against the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the true children of Israel, and gotten fat off our oppression. Okay? And let's close this off in Ecclesiastes. This is going to be Ecclesiastes 10 verse 18, speaking on that spirit of laziness, which again, we got 7 categories to explain the ranking of the most sinful cities in America, but you can also relate that to degeneracy, the most degenerate cities in America. Number 1, no shocker, being Las Vegas, Sin City, Nevada. Last category, laziness, and the last precept on that, Ecclesiastes 10 verse 18. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. And that what you see in a lot of these Babylon cities and Babylon the Great are urban decay, just rotting, nothing, corpses of what used to be homes, neighborhoods, and houses. And why? Because the rulers are lazy. And why extra is because those are mainly in Jake's neighborhoods. In a so-called Chinese or Arab or white or African neighborhood in America, or East African neighborhood in America, it ain't gonna look like that. But especially in the Judites, the so-called black neighborhoods, you got cities like Baltimore, St. Louis, Detroit, even Oakland now in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's mass urban decay going on. And that's because the king the king that is in power, he don't give a damn about our people. So he will, through laziness, he could clean up homelessness in 1 second. He not gonna do that. He wants the people in a state of destruction and to be destroyed, because they are easier to control. And once again, you know, he's a niggard. He's there's no uprightness in him. He's not gonna do the right thing. He's not gonna do the righteous thing. He wants everyone in a spirit of death, degeneracy, and destruction. And you can see that, all that vibration, all throughout Babylon the Great America. And each one of these cities are just like a Subway franchise. They're just franchises of Esau's wickedness. And again, these are the most degenerate cities in America, or most sinful cities in America. And we have the categories of anger and hatred, jealousy, excesses and vices, greed, lust, vanity, and laziness. Okay? And as always, I want to give all glory, honor, and thanks to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son for this wisdom and knowledge. That's Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, as well as a double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, whom I learned this truth from. And a shalom to the rest of the elders in Akim around the globe, bringing this word out within sincerity, truth, and diligence. I hope this lesson was edifying. This is part 2. Shalom.